Guys, deluded you know. Maldini, I've got a lot of respect for him, man. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him in the 70s, in the 80s, and the 90s. Obviously, because of when I was born, I got to see him in the 2000s. He was a great player, and whether it was centre half or like latter stages of his career, or at left back, he was an excellent footballer. One quote that he's made that will always stay with me: "If I have to slide tackle, it means I've made a mistake." And that shows you how great of a footballer the man actually is, man. I mean, I had to write all of this stuff down, how I feel about him, because I wouldn't remember it. I mean, left-footed, right-footed. It's easy to remember. It's both-footed. It's easy to remember. He played left back, being right-footed. That shows you how great the man's technique is. Unbelievable tech is the way he used to gracefully bring the ball upfield, playing that fullback, despite not being that quick or stuff, was elegant. Like Ronaldinho said, he was like a midfielder bringing out of midfield. I mean, into midfield, out of defense. Zlatan said he had everything, and that is true. Like I said, he drives forward. He's a fantastic athlete. He was great at marking. He was an excellent crosser, centre half or left back. Excellent footballer. You need a brain for that. His ambition, his anticipation. He was calm and composed, and he was elegant like a violin. Like I said to you guys, man, the guy was a lovely footballer. Like I said, I love Italy. I mean, in other countries, defending is frowned upon. You're seen as less of a player if you're a defender. Nobody wants to be defenders, blah, blah, blah. In Italy, it's an art, and guys like this prove it. He has all the capabilities to slide tackle and put his foot in someone. He's saying if he has to dirty up his clothes, he's upset, and it's a mistake. I mean, you can't, well, you can teach defending, but there's a real good art to it. I mean, he's been part of a collective back four that's conceded 14 and 15 goals in the league around 1985. Around the 1980s. Go and check your time, man. Go and check whenever he did it. He finished third in the World Player of the Year as a defender, second in the Ballon d'Or as a defender. And I'll tell you guys how much I don't think defenders are rated nowadays, and there needs to be a separate award. Like I said, leadership, concentration, intelligence. Only Buffon and Cannavaro have more caps than him. I mean, if you've got more caps than them two players, or for them two players, if you're one of them and someone's got more caps than you, then it can only be Maldini or someone like that. I mean, that's not someone bad to have in front of you, man. I mean, the guy was elite, man. I mean, I can't say how much times 1985 to 09, go and check him. The 1987-98 side that I wish I got to see with Van Basten, with Hewlett, with Rijkaard, with etc. I wish I got to see that. I wish I got to see his Champions League winning side, or the part of the sides under Capello or whoever that will get into like 3 Champions Leagues in a row and things like that. I really envy you guys that were born in the 70s and early 80s and got to see things like that. It's ridiculous. Like I said, he was part of a back four that, or 3 or whatever they were playing, that conceded 14 goals and 15 goals another year. He was part of an Invincibles. He was part of a side that won 3 years the league 3 times in a row, Champions League 3 times, final 3 times. Like, oh man, like this guy was elite, man. 1984 World Player of the Year, first ever defender. Like, come on, like 02 to 2003. You've just only got to check what the guy was on, man. Maldini was elite, one club man, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Loyal. I mean, at the time, of course, I wasn't there, but you need to remember his dad was a footballer. I mean, he almost somewhat had impossible boots to fill, and he managed to fill it, get his number retired. And I think when he lifted the Champions League, it was the next day was a year, I mean, an anniversary when his dad did it. So, I mean, the grandson, Maldini's son's got a lot to live up to, if he's playing football and things like that. Like, it's crazy. Even when he was coming to the end of his career, the 2007 side that won the Champions League, I mean, he was decent there. Model professional. It doesn't matter if you've been watching football from when he started to the 80s, to the 90s, to the 2000s. He's been around forever, man. He's like Giggs, man. I mean, Maldini, I've got a lot of praise for. I don't include him in a lot of my teams, a lot of my 11s, only because I tend to prefer the Brazilians. You guys know why. I'm going to get him in there. I don't feel right to not including him in there. Maldini was a legend, man. I mean, this is what defending is about. Nowadays, people get praised for ball playing and all of these other stuff, but not being able to do the basics that I've named about Maldini and what Maldini excels at. Ball playing should be a compliment. Nowadays, you can be like, football is retarded. Whether it's the goalie, the striker, the centre half, the centre mid, the first thing you hear is ball playing, ball playing. If you can't defend, if you can't catch a ball, if you can't finish it, if you can't be a striker and you can't be prolific, as long as you can build up play and drop deep and do all of these things, people swear you're a good footballer. But these are these experts that use fancy terms. Anyways, not to make it about that, Maldini, excellent footballer. Guys, Deluded Guna, signing out. Thank you for watching, of course.